Welcome home, Raiders. This week, Overwatch. And yeah, Legion Beta. This is CTR number 219.
You're listening to Convert to Raid, the podcast for Raiders in the world of Warcraft.
Trade Podcast Power Station in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Today is May 24th, 2016, and it's now 9:07 in the PM. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us from all around World of Warcraft land and beyond. My name is Pat Crane, your host of the show. I'm also known as Zug Around Airy Peak and, lots of other places as well. Sure, but especially here. And as always, the players are here. Let's go to the nerd capital of California, and we'll go visit our good friend, Darius.
Why is Peter Pan always flying? Because he never lands. I like this joke because it never grows old.
Oh, God. Oh, no. No.
Oh, my God.
The Darius is broken.
It's
the
so
Darius
bad.
has broken, everybody.
It's so bad.
This show is off
This
the
is
Are you
rails.
playing Overwatch
All right,
now?
hey, also, he's got a bunch of different shows on BlizzPro.com, namely The Payload and Well Met. It's John Horstmann. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Pat. How you doing? Thanks for having me on the show. Happy Overwatch launch to you. And again, thanks for having me on the show. Really appreciate it.
Yes, thanks for all the loot that you bought me for Overwatch. I'm sure that you bought me loot for Overwatch, right?
What?
Yeah, exactly. And from To Hardcores, it's Sharku.
I'm still reeling over Darius' attempt at humor. Like,
I know.
It was
I know.
really terrible.
I know.
I'm funny.
As a professional comedian myself.
Yeah. You are
felt
professionally funny looking.
Man.
It's just he was just reaching a little too hard for it, I think. Maybe
maybe
we can do some one-on-one coaching sessions, Darius, and we'll
Oh, he's hitting you up for a coaching gig.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I'll help you with that. It's $50 an hour.
You're gonna pay me?
I might need to.
Oh, man.
Aww.
All right. Well, okay. It's going to be no shock to anybody that listens to this show that we're probably going to be talking a lot about Overwatch because Overwatch is a thing. It's out now. We have all sorts of news stories, I'm sure. Darius has plenty of salt, and so I have the little video ready with the googly eyes. So that'll be really, really good. So I just have that at the ready. But what other than Overwatch, is there stuff that you guys have been up to in the many games of Blizzard, Darius?
No.
Beautiful. How about you, Shark Buddy? I know you've been playing some heroes and some other things over the last couple of weeks.
Still playing some heroes. I got guy leveled up in Diablo 3 finally. I went ahead and did that for the new season.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, that was fun. I missed To Hardcore's raid this week because my sister got married, but I think they were just farming. We are very close. 2 weeks ago, we got all the way to Archimon on our own, without any carries. We had a couple pugs that were in there, but I wouldn't consider them carries.
Sure.
But we got all the way to Archimon, and then we were consistently getting him to phase 4, or phase 3, his final phase, where you're going in the. So we were handling all the new mechanics really, really well, and I believe that we might have a kill next week if everybody shows up with their A game. I don't see why we won't kill him.
Awesome. That's good.
Very excited about that. So we are still playing Warcraft. After I get that moose mount, though, I don't know.
Right. Right. Well, it's tough, man. I mean, when we take a look at the way things have rolled out, I mean, HFC has been around for 11 months now.
Yeah,
and, you know, a lot of people...
The only reason I'm still playing is because I wasn't playing at the beginning. When
Right.
HFC came out, it was at the beginning of me doing all my busy summer stuff.
Right.
And it looks like it's going to end for me right before I start into it again. So,
Sure.
So yeah.
Right. Well, and it is, I mean, it is a lull, and you can tell even in the CTR guild where there are still plenty of people there, which is great.
Oh, yeah.
But it's dwindled down a little bit. I mean, the numbers are lower and so on and so forth, but it's the lull. This is what happens. And everybody's playing Overwatch. And we have people in the beta now, and we have, you know, we have members. Our CTR membership is all spread out all over the different Blizzard games and so on. John, what's been going on with you, buddy?
Oh man, so much Overwatch.
Yeah,
so much Overwatch. I did manage to get up to rank 8 in Hearthstone, so
hey,
that's not too bad.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
That's cool.
So getting up there, but hoping to get closer. I usually get around like rank 2, rank 3 by the time this season ends.
Wow.
Just for sake of time. But yeah, that and a lot of Overwatch.
Yep.
And then Katie insisted, my girlfriend, for those who don't know, insisted that she gets into not my cat, Darius. Thank you very much.
Makes sense.
Insisted that she gets Overwatch as well, and she is actually a higher level than I am right now, and so yeah, I don't know what this game has done to her, but I tweeted at the Overwatch Twitter, and I said I want my girlfriend back, which
wow,
gave me some perspective.
Wow, that's you know, she's out playing you, and you have a podcast about it.
It's true.
So,
and I've played nonstop. I'm like, my Xbox is here.
Yeah.
You went home last night, and somehow we've been playing the same amount. Maybe her more somehow. I mean, this is taking away. I'm just falling more and more behind. But still, she's at me.
And now you're on this show, so you're going to fall even further behind. It's crazy.
It's true. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, you don't get a 20% XP bonus from being on the show. I'm just letting you know.
That's true.
So yeah, I want to talk about a couple of different things tonight, and I think that one of the things that we should talk about is the World of Warcraft movie, because I've been seeing a lot of this stuff, and I kind of want to bring this up before I get into Battlenet news stuff. We're just going to jump into Battlenet news tonight because you know, the WoW news it's there. We're going to talk about it. It's not as super as the Overwatch stuff, though. I think everybody's amped up. If Discord is any kind of indicator about what games people are playing, Overwatch is the thing. So, but I do want to talk about the movie because I want to talk about a couple different things. Number one, have you guys seen all the different trailers and featurettes and all these different things happening in the world? We're being inundated. I saw Rob Kaczynski and a bunch of folks on the Today Show.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah,
I didn't get to see that though.
I'm like, whoa, they are out.
It launched it premiered today in France, so people in France have been able to watch it.
Okay, people in France,
everywhere.
Tell us what you think.
Point.
Is it all of Europe, or is it just France?
I don't know. All I saw was France. A lot of people in France talking about seeing the movie that it had premiered today. I'm surprised the internet's not full of spoilers.
Did you see any reviews on it or anything?
I have been avoiding everything. I didn't even watch the latest trailer because I didn't want any spoilers or anything like that. So if I see anything, I tend to immediately scream and cover my eyes.
Right. Did you guys happen to watch the remake, the in-game remake of one of the trailers that a guy by the name of Ivan Kuzkin did? It is so sweet. Everything. So
it's a machinima remake of the trailer.
Yeah. He's like got it down. Even like the jumping off the cliff barefoot onto the griffin. Had it down.
If you're planning on doing something, do it now. That's what all Warcraft voices in my head sound like Rhaegar from Heroes of the Storm, by the way. What are you doing? Go heal. Just to share with the universe.
And does everybody have their tickets? That's the other question for the movie.
I haven't. I don't know. Here's the thing that I'm terrified about.
Yeah.
I don't know if the movie theater in my town is going to have Overwatch. Or not Overwatch.
Overwatch?
Oh God,
What?
The
Overwatch. I wonder why.
I know they didn't have, well, they didn't have the Overwatch party either. A lot of theaters were doing an Overwatch party, but I live in a little town. I'm not surprised. But I can't find, I might have to drive like 2 hours to go and see the movie at midnight and then have to be up for work at 6:30 the next morning. Oh, is it salty?
There's the salt.
I'm really sad
is.
about it. Because I have a movie theater right down the street, but I don't know. So I don't know. I'm waiting. I think that they might just not announce their schedule until a week. I don't know. I need to call them.
Yeah, I need to call them.
I'm really sad. I'm like, I don't want to drive to Hickory to do this. Oh,
boy.
Uh-oh.
John, do you have your tickets yet?
So I don't, because they're going to be at all the major theaters here.
Oh, you're in Denver.
Even today,
you're in a big town. You don't have anything to worry about.
I'm in Denver. I'm not worried at all. The Alamo. So if you guys if you're in Texas or Colorado or a couple other states, there's an awesome movie theater called the Alamo. Amazing. They have like full service food, and I get free tickets there. So definitely be getting my tickets there.
How'd you wrangle that deal?
Just
channels,
$5 under the table,
right?
Fiverr. Have you met my friend Abraham? That's what I told him. They're like, you know what? You're funny.
How much are tickets? $20. Well, what if I gave you a $5 bill for nothing? Oh, then you could get in free.
Right.
See, you and I think alike, and that's what I like about you, Shark, is that you and I on the same wavelength, and that's why. So I have not gotten him that yet, but I went and actually saw a matinee today. I saw The Nice Guys. Hilarious, by the way. You should see it. But the guy was wearing a AMC. It was an AMC theater, and he had a black polo that was Warcraft. And I had like one of the scene. It was the Durotan, I think, and the other guy on the other side, Lothar, on the back of his polo. It's pretty cool. I had to point it out.
Awesome.
Be like, cool polo. He goes, yeah, they gave it to us for free, so why not? And I was like, no, cool. Take that off.
Right. Darius, you actually have information on there's a meetup happening in your area, right?
Yes.
What's going on?
The 10th, so the night it comes out, we're going to do, in the Bay Area, we're going to do a meetup of sorts, and then we'll watch the movie. So June 10th in Redwood City, we're going to meet at the Margarita's Mexican restaurant. It's on Broadway Street. We're going to meet there about 6 p.m. if you can make it, anytime between 6 and 8, and around 8 o'clock. The tickets haven't gone on sale yet, but we're hoping there's an 8 p.m. showing. We've been calling them and they won't tell us when there's going to be showings, but when there are, it's going to be about the 8 p.m. showing, and we're all going to go across the street and watch it. So that's June 10th. There's I think Jules is sticking it up on the wellplayedparty.com website.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a Facebook group for it and our event thing for it and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to do that in the Bay Area if people want to come. I know 6 is kind of early. But it's a Friday. Maybe you can get out of work a little early. And as long as you're there by 8 for the movie, you should be all right.
Right on.
Or just quit your job to go see the movie. That's
or just quit your job.
Right.
Yeah.
You know how you get movie theaters to give you the times of the movie well beforehand, don't you?
No.
How? You just buy out the theater. You just say, all right, let's just do this thing.
Okay, money bags.
So no.
I don't know if you know how expensive movies are in the Bay Area.
I don't have enough Abraham Lincolns for that.
All you need is a 5. It's weird. No, I know a movie guy too. I just want to let everybody know for those guys that are interested in the Minnesota movie meetup that we're doing on June 11th in the Minneapolis area. All the tickets have been claimed, and thank you so much to all the people that have donated to the event and have helped us get more seats for it and all this kind of stuff. So really looking forward to it. We have 150 people, that we have 150 tickets claimed right now, so everything's booked. That's as big as we go. 150. So there may be like some stray tickets every once in a while. Go check out wellplayparty.com and get the latest update. But right now it's really tight. So usually if somebody drops tickets, then somebody else picks them up. It's weird. So there. That's all I have. And the nice thing about the movie coming out is that beginning tomorrow through August 1st, so all summer long, pretty much. Well, I guess August is still summer. But players who log into World of Warcraft will receive a set of movie-inspired transmog items. So that's pretty cool. You can...
Yay.
Yeah, I should actually do that.
Yeah.
Right?
I'll just do it for you.
What you're saying is I get gear for the movie, even if I don't go see the movie.
Even if you don't go see it. So there's a package for the Alliance and a package for the Horde, and you get
be able to log in Legion and just get all the raid gear too.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second. We're going to talk about gear later.
I can't.
Legion.
This is too much.
But also, anybody who purchases a ticket at select theaters will receive a free digital copy of World of Warcraft while supplies last. If it's a digital copy, though, shouldn't supplies last for a while?
Well, I mean...
forever, Pat.
Right.
Bits are finite, so... You know.
Bits and bytes?
There are so many byte bits.
Yes. There are only so many to go around. So, but that's all really cool stuff. That's nice, right? So you can go in and get your stuff starting tomorrow. Yay!
Yay.
All right. With that, we're gonna go directly into the Battlenet news. Yes, the Battlenet news. And we're doing this because Overwatch launched yesterday, really, for us here in the States. And I wanted to get everybody's reactions, all the different things that are going on with Overwatch, because Overwatch is kind of the thing, according to Reddit. Isn't that right, Darius?
Yeah, Overwatch tried to break Reddit yesterday.
What happened?
According to one of the data scientists at Reddit, for a brief period yesterday afternoon, r/Overwatch was getting more page views than the Reddit front page, than just reddit.com, significantly more, like
yes,
almost double the amount of page views were going just to Overwatch. On top of that, I was talking with the CTO of Discord this afternoon, and he said the Overwatch Reddit server had almost 10,000 people in it yesterday and almost brought Discord down because people were spamming so much.
Wow.
People are excited.
People are real. I haven't seen people this excited in a very, very long time about a game.
I should say most people are excited. If you check Metacritic, there's a couple people that don't like this game.
Why don't they like the game, though? What do they
it's
say?
Mostly this game is free to play garbage. There's no depth to this game. One guy said there's no team deathmatch, so it's a 0 out of 100.
Agree.
Wow, that seems a little harsh, doesn't it?
I mean, he's got a point. There is no team deathmatch, you know.
You're right.
That is a correct statement. We cannot say he is incorrect.
One person called it Evolve 2.0.
Evolve?
Yeah, that game that came out for like 10 minutes a couple years ago.
No, it's where one guy's the beast and the other ones are hunting him down, and then
completely different. Than
I don't get how that's even a thing.
Anyway, that's the internet.
What? People, please, what is going on?
Oh boy. He says Battleborn fans. I didn't know I didn't know those people exist. Thank you, Sithfish, in the chat room.
Whoa.
Battleborn fans? Oh, come on. I'm sure it's a lovely game.
Battleborn was a really fun game while I was waiting for Overwatch to come back out. and I really mean that. I'm only being a little bit tongue in cheek on that. It's actually a really fun game. But once Overwatch came out, yeah, you're right. I'm done. I moved on. But I have a distinct Blizzard bias anyways, let's be honest. And so Yeah, it was insane though. I mean, 9.7 people, the biggest open beta ever. Like there's so much. 9.7 million people.
Oh, you missed the million.
You forgot the million.
9.7 people. 9.7 people.
Right.
I was the point.
The average household in the United States.
That's the average household now? Oh man.
Yep, that's it.
Wow.
Things have changed.
But
not enough people are playing Overwatch and doing other things.
Well, and the cool thing is, so they released all this stuff. They released the infographic about Overwatch and about how well the beta went. 9.7 million players, as John mentioned, or 9.7. 4.9 billion minutes played.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
About half of what I played during the closed beta.
Alone.
So did you guys do the math on the fact that with the total number of people playing over the open beta, the average is about 8 hours played per person on the open beta?
Wow. That seems
like that is insane.
That's
over
incredible.
5 days, but
5
still
days, yeah.
That's over an hour a day, and that's an average, which is really insane because even like someone like me, I do a podcast on Overwatch and I clock like 3 hours over the 5 days.
Yeah.
There is so much hype and so many people wanting to play the game right now. And 3 weeks ago when it wasn't out, it's completely unprecedented. I believe that the Division, which had like 6.4, I think, million people in the beta, the average play time was like an hour and a half over the same or close to the same period of time. So it's not just a lot of people signed up and then logged out. They stuck with it and played it for a long time, which means that at least for 8 hours, Overwatch is a really fun game.
Right.
Well, and just not even people playing the game. I was checking out Twitch because I was streaming. I don't know why. No one was going to be watching my stream. We had a few people in there. It was fun. But Overwatch had I think it was 200, and when I was looking at it, it was almost 280,000 viewers watching people stream Overwatch at launch. And that was just people watching it that couldn't get home from work and play it themselves or something like that. The next highest was League at like 100-something thousand. So over doubling it. And I think it might have gone over 300 or 400. What did you see?
I saw it at 360,000.
God.
And then someone tweeted that there were 9,000 people live streaming Overwatch.
Wow.
And that's not surprising. That's not surprising.
That's insane.
It's just people were really excited. And even
that's the size of my hometown. That's I grew up. Everybody would have had to been streaming Overwatch at that second.
Wow. Well, and what's funny, too, I mean, John, you said it was 8 hours of playtime on average per really person. Close. And if you do that for the amount of minutes that on the average minutes that it takes to play a game, if it's between 6 and 9 minutes to play a game, that means that they're playing 70 to 80 games in that weekend. That seems even crazier to me.
Nerds, get a life.
Nerds. Nerds. No, because I probably got in
one of those
like 3 or 4 hours, and so I was playing it pretty well, but not nearly as well as some people apparently. One of the things from the infographic that I really liked was that not over 9 million payloads were successfully delivered. I'm just like, oh, that's cute. That's a cute one. I like that.
I thought that was toilet talk at first, but then I got to go deliver the payload. I'll be right back.
Right.
I have a quick question for you guys while we're talking about this.
Yeah.
As much hype, and I know we're all Blizzard fanboys. Like we do Blizzard game podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
We eat, sleep, drink Blizzard stuff. Is this game of the year? What do you guys think? There's so much hype. There's so many people playing it. It's so good. Is this game of the year material, or even, but like, is there any competition with other games that you guys see right now? What do you think?
Have you played Uncharted yet? Because that game is real good.
Yeah, I have not. Yeah. I have not. But was just even with all the hype and everything behind Overwatch, like what do we expect going forward?
I think that it's probably a contender. It'll be probably mentioned in a lot of top 10 lists and stuff like that. I mean, if you look at last year, a couple of the ones that stood out for me were Rocket League. And it still stands out to me because you know why? It's simple, it's easy, and it's awesome. Right? I mean, just those few things. And I think that Overwatch definitely hits all those notes where it's easy enough for anybody to get a good grasp of the gameplay. And yet it's awesome because there are so many different possibilities and so many different maps and so many different choke points and all these different plays you can make with all these different characters. So it's just super fun and cool. So
I think, and I think I lean on that side too, Pat, because as much what I know about, like I said, I've not played Uncharted yet, but that's more of a storyline game, right?
I hear that game. Darius, I hear that the PvE side is good and the PvP side is kind of flaky.
Well, if you're playing an Uncharted game for the multiplayer, then you're not really
right. You're doing it wrong.
Yeah. But the PvE, I mean, the Naughty Dog's ability to tell a story and make a good game, an engaging game, a game that you're going to think about is unprecedented. No one else is able to do that. The Last of Us, the Uncharted games, all those games, it's a very, very good game. I have a feeling it's either going to be Overwatch or Uncharted, unless a game comes out later this year that just blows both of them out of the water.
Yeah. And that's what I almost feel like they need two different categories. You need like a general audience game and a story game. You know what I mean? Because they're both almost completely different. It's like trying to pick. I know the Tonys have different qualifications for different. You can't go up against a musical. Musicals are going to win because everyone loves musicals or whatever. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's kind of where Overwatch sits, and it's a very great. Like John was saying, Katie is all about that. She doesn't play much video games, but she's playing Overwatch. It's so appealing. It's got such mass appeal. That's what I'm looking for. Mass appeal. Where Uncharted is an awesome game, but only if you're willing to invest yourself in the story. So I don't know. I just think I think I'm surprised by when I saw Overwatch announced at BlizzCon 2 years ago. I was like, that's going to be awesome. I'm really happy Blizzard's going to be doing something new. I was really, really excited about it, but I didn't think at all. The thought came in my mind is, man, I hope it doesn't suck. I just don't want it to be bad. You know what I mean? I just want it to be decent. And so far it has really been good, received well by people outside of the Blizzard community. Well that, I don't know. I'm excited about it.
I think there are going to be a couple of sticking points that we're all going to have to figure out what those are. One are new players and players that really don't know FPS all that well. FPS games, or know how this game is built, so they kind of have to learn what the game is and how to do it and all these types of things. And I think that that's where a lot of people are finding frustration, especially those guys that went through the open beta or the closed beta in whatever capacity you were in there. For new players, they might say, and we were talking about this before the show, talking about how, okay, well, we have Symmetra, a Widowmaker, and a Hanzo, so I'm going to pick
another Widowmaker.
Another Hanzo, something like that. So you get kind of these folks that don't necessarily know what's going on, or you get these weird comps, or you get these things that don't seem normal. Right,
something
Darius?
That I would say, sorry.
Yeah.
Something I would say, though, backtracking to Game of the Year, is that Overwatch is kind of going into some uncharted territory here in the fact that it's a truly multimedia IP. Sure, it's centered around the game, and the game is what it's all about, but in the end, I mean, you don't learn story from the game. You don't really learn more about the characters from in the game outside of like the little chit chat and what you can glean off of like voice lines and things like that. But they're coming from shorts, and they're coming from comics, and they're coming from different, articles and blog posts on the Play Overwatch site. and they're building a world completely differently than what I'm familiar with for games. And so while it's an incredible game, there's so much about Overwatch happening outside of the game that if there is something that discounts them and there is a reason that they don't get Game of the Year, it's because they're doing that. I don't think the game industry is fully prepared to catch up to that, because in the end, people don't just want to play their video games anymore. They want to experience them in and outside of the game. And, you know, I think of like Legend of Zelda and Pokemon as, you know, kind of two games who have really kind of done that and built this world outside of the world and kind of started to dabble with that. But Overwatch, in my opinion, it seems to be one of the first to really go all in on, you play the game because it's an awesome game, but you learn about the world and the story and the characters and the different overarching themes. You learn them through our digital shorts and our comics. And I think that's absolutely incredible. And one of the smartest things Blizzard could have done to give this game the legs that it can have, as well as build a beautiful, stunning, engaging world. And I think they've done just that.
Right. And since our last show, they came out with 2 new shorts, Dragons and Hero, and both are phenomenal. Plus we had the Farah comic, right? Plus
and
Symmetra plus
Torbjorn.
Oh man, I mean,
McCree.
It's just the way that they're releasing the media around the game has been incredible, and people are eating it up. It's crazy. I mean, because as soon as something hits, that's what we see in our chat channels and stuff like that, in Discord and whatever. You see these people just automatically just link it and go, "Oh my god, this is the best thing ever."
Go watch this.
It's automatically the best thing ever.
Well, and I've not been emotionally connected to characters in a video game more than Overwatch, and I can't remember how long. I mean, to compare it would probably be something like Final Fantasy VII or something like that. Like that kind of storytelling, and maybe, I mean, StarCraft. I feel like I was really emotionally connected to Kerrigan's character. And I know this is talking from a, theater dork standpoint, but that kind of emotional connection that you can have with the characters in a video game. First of all, I know I'm the one that's been screaming, I want a story mode. I want to be able to play through the story.
You have a story mode. You have your story mode now.
No, yeah.
Not really.
But at least I can watch it and really connect with these characters. I mean, especially Dragons, I think, has been my by far favorite short so far. If you have not seen Dragons yet, go and look up Overwatch Dragons on YouTube. It's so cool. An incredible story that is told. The way in which they told the story, the way they tell all the different stories.
Oh yeah.
The way that the stories take place in the maps that you play in.
Right. I actually played Hero for my wife tonight a couple hours ago, and I was like going, yeah, this is all, basically what the game is, or here's where the game is played, and then she's like walking down, at one of the choke points, and I'm like going, that's a choke point right there.
Yeah, she needs to watch herself.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's the gang, and it's like, oh no, they're right at a choke point. Oh yeah,
she can't get away.
Can't get through there.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's, if I were a TV executive for a young adult centered television station, I would be trying to find a way to gain a partnership with Blizzard to be making a television show.
Oh, well, Blizzard's going to be making, I can totally see them making this into a TV show.
I couldn't, especially and the fact that they're
like all
willing
the backstory, just think of it.
To have an actual TV series season set up to where they're already doing these 7-8 minute shorts and they're incredible. I don't know. They have such incredible talent that works for that company. It makes me jealous and angry and happy and fuzzy all at the same time.
Right.
What they're able to do they're not just making great video games. Like, they're making phenomenal entertainment. I love the way that John put it. They're a true multimedia. Overwatch is way more than a video game.
By the way, John, I can't help but notice that picture behind you.
Finally
Yeah, it's
got
like-
it, yeah.
Finally, no.
He saw it.
No, I
It was
saw
marked
it
the
before. I
time
just
here.
wanted to bring it up. So if you
35
guys,
minutes.
Yeah, well, guys, check out the video if you want to see a really weird thing in the
Wall of
background.
rain.
Get it
Yeah.
photoshopped.
Where's Waldo? Type of thing.
Found him.
Thanks for that.
Found
Thanks for
him.
that. Easter eggs all over the place. Not really. What else have you guys noticed as far as in game? I mean, now we're talking the first couple of days in the game. Have you guys noticed many trolls? What's the sitch inside the game for you guys?
If you can help it, don't play alone. That's
Yeah.
all I will say. If
Right.
you can help it, it is so much fun to play. And even like Katie's in the other room right now, not carrying that amount of podcast, whatever, do your own thing. She's playing Overwatch by herself. It's fun. But we played Overwatch last night and it was just a group of friends hanging out and it was so much fun. Jeff Kaplan has said it over and over again that this is really designed to be a game that you don't play on your own. You can, but it's really designed around that community aspect. And even during the Q&A with Jeff Kaplan yesterday morning, where they were kind of talking about guilds and clans and other community type aspects that we could see added into Overwatch in the future, he emphasized again, we really believe that together is the best way to play this game. So it's been absolutely phenomenal. The servers held up after after about 15 minutes of kind of everything ended up kind of falling into place and didn't have an issue. I think we had like 1 or 2 disconnects over like 5 hours of playing. And so, I mean, it was absolutely phenomenal, but I cannot emphasize enough. Go to like the Convert to Raid Discord or something, party up. There's always people looking to play Overwatch. Don't play alone because you'll have so much more fun. It doesn't matter how good you are. Doesn't matter how much experience you have. You got to play it with somebody. It's so much fun.
It's the same thing I say about all Blizzard games.
Hearthstone. You can play Hearthstone by yourself.
Get a buddy. No, it's better to play against Shark. It's better to play against
Why,
Shark.
Crane? You'll lose.
And then just
Win.
beat the pants off of him.
Good luck.
Oh, I've done it, my friend.
You have done it before. when I was playing like my Beast Druid or something.
Probably. Darius, what have you seen in the game? What have you noticed? How is the environment inside for you? How's it going?
I haven't noticed any real toxicity or anything like that. But I have noticed a lot of people that have put a lot of hours into the game, people that are 10, 15, 20 in level already and still have no idea how to play the game or maybe only playing one class, or maybe only playing a sniper, which is not how that game works. And it's still the same thing. And I'm hoping this gets better. But it's the same thing where people are playing it like a MOBA and they refuse to swap and they refuse to change and they ignore chat altogether. Hopefully that stuff gets better. I think it's just the way people play other Blizzard games and think about Blizzard games in general. And I think that all needs to change. And Blizzard they try with the messages, say like, too many snipers when you have 2 Widowmakers or something
no
like
tanks.
That.
No tanks.
People
no
ignore
healers.
those. I think
Take that as a challenge accepted, really.
Yeah.
Right.
I think some of the classifications need to change. Like Symmetra she's labeled as a healer sitting next to the other healers, and she should be more of a support
she is labeled as support, but she should probably be labeled more defense or something along those lines.
Yeah, or maybe support's not like
I like utility.
a good classification. Utility would be better.
Utility
yes.
would be great, actually.
Yeah,
that would be good.
But I mean, it's the same game as the beta and the alpha and everything, and I still love it. The only thing they added that was new was you can buy loot boxes now for
I
real.
tested that. It works.
So
it works so good.
Tell the folks what you did there, John.
Well, I just dropped $40 on 50 loot boxes.
Oof.
just to see.
Now they have different
the world
levels, right?
end.
They have different levels, right, where you can buy in and
Yeah. If you've played Hearthstone, it's pretty similar to that kind of microtransaction type thing. The more you buy, the cheaper each loot box is. The max you can get is 50 loot boxes for $40. So less than or more than one per dollar. So what a deal. Obviously, I had to go for that one. And it was awesome. I think I walked away with, I believe it was 4 legendaries and then a bunch of epics. And of course, a whole bunch of, rare and common type stuff. But I also ended up with 2,000 additional credits, and a legendary like skin, for example, is 1,000 credits, and an epic like victory pose or play of the game intro is 250 credits. So there was quite a bit. I could basically get whatever I wanted at that point to kind of skinny out exactly, what I want. I play a lot of Reinhardt, so I got some sweet poses for Reinhardt and stuff like that. It was awesome, and they're really nailing down the in-game transaction experience with even what it's like to open up a loot box.
Oh yeah.
I really love how they do that.
So cool.
It's such a good job. They did such a good job on that. It's really addicting. It's a game in itself.
Did you get a lot of duplicates when you opened those boxes, or did you find that
critically, if I did have to say one thing I didn't enjoy, it was almost every box or every other box I was getting duplicates, because there are so many. Like it felt like to me there are so much fewer common and rare stuff than there are epic and legendary, and so it felt like when I was getting a lot of commons and rares, it did feel like it was getting a lot of duplicates. But at the same time, if I didn't see purple or yellow, I was just ticked anyway. So
it was just all rage. It was just.
I quit.
There's yeah, there we go. Someone had posted they had bought 300 and something boxes, but they did it in like the Chinese market, so it was like $38 is what it ended up to. Yeah, so if you're gonna
moving
buy
to
boxes,
China, BRB,
make a China account.
Yeah.
I want to know what the numbers are and how much money was spent on in-game stuff on day one.
Already?
Like I'd love to.
Well, you know that they're not going to release that, but
no. But I would. Yeah. I mean, I'm just interested in how. I mean, I'm sure almost everybody. I know. I would say at least 50 of the people that I've talked to have purchased at least one of those loot boxes.
Right. Well,
there were people I knew that bought loot boxes like before even playing their first match. They saw they could do it, and they just bought a bunch of
stuff.
Well,
and
funny because
most people bought multiple, at least the $50 version.
Well, and it's funny because I mean those loot boxes don't contain anything except for just like skins and stuff and emotes and whatever, and
you don't contain anything except
it's not like extra bazookas or something like that. You don't get
true.
like a
all cosmetic
fancy sidearm or something like that.
Right.
And then when you do get a duplicate, even if it's common or whatever, that just transfers into credits, right? So that you just get credits for
right.
It does, but it's significantly less credits than it's worth to buy it. For example, the only duplicate I got was the legendary Symmetra skin that makes her look like Shiva.
Oh yeah,
kind of, and the cool. Diva something. Oh, it's an awesome skin. But that's the only duplicate I got, and I didn't buy anything either. That was just randomly picking it up, and I only got 200 credits for it, and it's worth 1,000. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I think the math is you get like 1/5.
Yeah,
which
it is.
They do the same thing in Hearthstone. Like you get significantly less than what it's worth. Which, I guess if that's the way they want to do it, at least they're consistent.
Yeah.
On that,
you have to grind for it, right? I mean, you have to play the game. That's the whole deal. So
it also is.
I just
nice.
feel like I only had one legendary, and I got the duplicate legendary that I got. I was like, come on, what are the odds of that?
At least it's not like Hearthstone, where then you have to go back in and find that duplicate that you got and have to manually just
it get destroyed.
Manually throw this into the trash rather than us throw it in the trash for you. It feels awful the other way.
Right.
So they at least learned from that too.
Oh man. Any other Overwatch stories? I'm super psyched for this game for a lot of different reasons, but just because it's a fun game for small groups of folks to play together, and everything's there for you. There's no grinding for characters or anything like that, so you don't have to worry about that. You just jump in and play. So cool. Yeah. So cool.
I would say one thing. Sorry, before we move on.
Go ahead.
One thing is just like in Heroes for me, be quick to mute or report if people are being.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't know. You guys are talking. Pat was asking if you guys got. I came across some pretty trolly people. Using some pretty awful language, and anybody that knows streams or has watched me stream or streams with me knows that I can, have a foul mouth myself.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what it is, just abusive and offensive language and that 15-year-old kid syndrome. So yeah, if you're playing and you're not having a good time because of that, first of all, if someone is abusive or aggressive in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, it's absolutely okay. You should report them for that. And other than that, just if you're not liking what people are saying, mute them.
Right.
It's okay. So that will make you a happier gamer. You don't have to worry about the baddies and you only get to talk to the goodies. So do that.
There is a way too, when you finish a match, to go into your recently played with people, right click on someone and you can avoid them. You can right click and click avoid this player or maybe prefer this player, and it should match you with or not with that person.
Cool.
In the future.
Yeah, that's a tool too.
Something I do want to say too. So there was a Q&A on Facebook with Jeff Kaplan yesterday, and it's up to you of how much you got from it. But there was one thing, and I tweeted it out, so I wanted to read it off my Twitter so I can remember. But he goes, "This community is what we make it. Be good to each other. Be excellent to each other." So if you can, especially right now, it's super important. Be good to each other. You can be salty and, you can hear me in Discord dropping F-bombs all the time, playing with Pat. I mean, it happens, but you don't have to direct it at anybody. Be good to each other because it's exactly right. This community is what we make it. And a lot of these games live and die by how great the community is. So be that good community member and report people who are jerks, but don't be a jerk and
don't
get along with people. No need to antagonize too much. A little jab is fun.
Be excellent to each other. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure was such a great movie.
There it is.
Such a great movie.
There it is.
Oh, so good. And also, if you're playing with people, you get a 20% XP bonus, which is awesome. And so why wouldn't you play with people? And be nice to people.
Don't have any
hang out and of course the longer you play as well, you get bonus XP, right? And so like the longer that you stay in game and just play more games, more
marathon,
more XP. So
don't sleep. Go to work.
Yeah, don't sleep. Everybody, it was funny this morning. Everybody was suffering from an Overwatch hangover.
Yeah,
that was the new hashtag on Twitter.
Overwatch hangover.
Overwatch.
That's another thing. Overwatch was trending hard yesterday on Twitter, like way above.
Imagine that. Yeah, my entire timeline was just OMG, Overwatch.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminds me though of like New Year's, where like everyone, Overwatch hangover. So you have the New Year's hangover, and then you have those people who then go on New Year's Day and do the same thing as well. And you're like, ugh, what's your problem? That was me. Yeah. So that's going to be me tonight.
Right.
And then maybe like it'll be like January 2nd and I'll still be doing it. Maybe even the 3rd.
I feel like
John, go outside.
Right.
We'll be doing New Year's week.
Right.
New Year's week.
Hey, Kisasha in chat says hard to find people to play with when you're not that good. And I don't think that's necessarily going to be an issue with this game.
Pat Crane plays all the time.
I play all the time.
Sir. You need to friend
jump in our
guy.
Discord. Find some folks to play with. I'm sure that they'll jump in and play with you and hang out with you, and you can chat in Discord and all that kind of fun stuff, and just have some fun. So, discord.converttoraid.com. So discord.converttoraid.com.
And also announce to the community in ways. Start something yourself. Be like, hey, we're playing. Like tweet out or throw in the Discord. I'm going to play some Overwatch here in a little bit. Not very good, but would love to make new friends. You'll be surprised how many people will respond.
Right.
I do stuff like that, and even before I was on the show, before people knew who I was at all, people will pick up if they're available. So give it a shot.
Right.
It's fun.
Yep, it is. Oh, hey, John, you just mentioned it in chat. Overwatch preview event.
Yes.
You went to it. What was the deal?
So it was pretty cool. The one in Colorado, there was only one in the entire state, and it was amazing. There was actually an Overwatch thread about it on the subreddit because of how amazing it was.
This is the movie theater deal, right? This is the movie theater.
So basically what happened was there were 100 theaters across the U.S. That were screening, or not really screening, but playing the Overwatch shorts, the cinematics, and they were doing a dev interview and giving away exclusive swag and prizes. And so I got to go to that, and then a lot of my friends got to go to it too. And each theater did a little bit different, but for me, I thought it was a great time, and I thought that it was exactly what they said it was. Like, a lot of people were expecting them to announce a new hero or a new map, and
right.
I'm like, you guys are setting yourself up for such disappointment.
It's always amazing that people just do that all the time. They're just like, this is going to happen. I'm going to think positive thoughts. And then they go, oh, man, crushed again.
Yeah. Like, for me, the coolest part about it was hanging out with a bunch of people just as excited as me to usher in the first new Blizzard IP in, 18 years now? 19 years, right around there.
Yeah.
And so long. And so, like, every time someone came in, we all clapped for them. They gave us these thunder sticks. We'd go, what's your favorite hero? And as long as they didn't say Bastion, we clapped at them again. And that was, really funny. One guy said Bastion, and everyone's like, what do we clap? I don't know what to do. Right. But it was really cool. We got limited edition Coca-Cola glasses with either and they're like the plastic kind that are always limited edition at the movie theater, so they're not like glass engraved. Right. One with Tracer, one with Widowmaker, and then they gave away, I think at each theater they gave away a collector's edition of the Overwatch game, which is pretty cool. And they usually did it based on like the seat you were sitting in or the cup that you got. And so It was really fun. But again, it was a very community driven event. Those there to like meet people and say hi and just have a great time. Loved it. Those who were coming in because they had to take notes for their blog about the new hero that were coming out, but really want to watch Game of Thrones. They did not have such a good time. But overall, it was really cool. It was a really good. It was a really good thing if you went in with proper expectations,
right,
on what it was going to be.
Right. All right. I think with that, we'll table Overwatch for the rest of the night. Sorry, we'll play after the show, guys. What do you think? I mean, we'll just...
I'm down.
Been playing for the last 10 minutes.
Oh, boy. All right.
I checked out.
Gary's turned off his mic 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about Warcraft, World of Warcraft. How about we do that? Right?
What game?
World of Warcraft. We're going to talk about World of Warcraft.
Woo!
And again... We understand that a lot of people here that listen to the show play World of Warcraft, so we might as well talk about it.
I've heard of that game.
Yeah. So while we were gone over the last couple of weeks, the beta came out, and everything was rolling just fine, right? I mean, the Discord broke out when WoW beta hit, and a lot of people were just in it. And they were like going, I still don't know what I'm going to play. I want to figure out what my main's going to be. And then our buddy Acomp said, nope, I'm rushing to 110 and figuring out what Endgame is all about. And so I know that we have been, the four of us have been just pining for Overwatch. That was our main job, right? Over the last couple of weeks, it was just like pining for Overwatch and just making sure that we were ready for Overwatch when it hit. So... Did anybody play beta? I don't think anybody did.
I played alpha.
I played some alpha stuff, so I kind of know what's going on, but I didn't jump into the beta. I tell you what I'm going to do. For those guys that want to dive deep into the Legion beta, I'm going to try to set up some time with some folks that have gone through it and have found out some stuff, especially at the end game. That might be of interest to you guys. So I'll set that up as a separate deal, as a separate show. We'll call it something different. It'll be different. So we'll do that. But one thing that is coming for Legion that was talked about in a water cooler talk dev talk, whatever you call those things, when Ian Hazzikostas takes to the forums and talks about a specific subject for a while, which he is known to do. He is verbose.
He does like talking.
He does. This one was about PvP gear for Legion. And I'm just going to read this because it is amazing. He said, for everybody that wants to figure out gear for PvP and Legion, he says, we've tried a number of solutions in the past. We introduced resilience, then we added PvP power, we did all this other stuff, and going forward, we feel it would be better if the gear awarded in PvE and PvP was just the same. And everybody went, what?
Huh?
What? Huh? So he says it's just going to be the same. What do you guys?
I love it.
Now, obviously,
like that.
there's going to be scaling and stuff like this that's going to be going on with PvP. But just in general, Shark, you love it?
That's something that I had a problem with. One of the reasons I didn't PvP, because I put so many hours in this game for PvE, and then I would go into PvP as, you know, a terribly geared noob, even though I had killed the heroic content. You know what I mean? So it was not enticing for me to start PvPing in any way. It got much better, actually, with Draenor, because I could wear my PvE gear into PvP and feel powerful enough to make a difference.
Right.
That at that point, it was really more along my skill as a player, which was keeping me in the match or not. But keeping it just a completely this way, you can play one or the other or both, and you're rewarded you're rewarded the same. You are given equal reward.
Yeah.
So I love the idea. I love the change. I understand where people are not liking it and don't like the change, and they absolutely have a point. But personally, for me, I think that this is a better system.
So what
for the health of the game, the future of the game, whatever that may be, this would be a better system than what we've had going on.
Well,
right now, honestly, go ahead. Sorry.
I was the question is, what have you seen? Why people have said that this is a bad idea? I guess, is it because they feel like, was it the argument that, well, now Mythic Raiders are just gonna jump in and do PvP for better gear and blah 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 and whatever?
Yeah, kind of that idea, and that I think the more hardcore PvPers are feeling, because they sort of had their own place in the world. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
Where this is what set them apart. You could have great Mythic Raiders, but you're a great Mythic Raider, but I'm a great PvPer, and now it's more of an equal playing field.
Right.
So I don't know, and it also sort of told a story of the type of player you were, depending on what gear that you had. But I like this much better, and I think a lot of it is the fact that now you can just do mythic rating and then face roll through the lower levels of PvP. Because of your gear, and so I think some people are worried about that. But
now, John, I know that you were a big time PvEer at one point. Did you ever PvP as well?
I did. I was 2200 rating in rated battlegrounds and 2K rating in 2s in Cataclysm.
Cool.
And this was actually going to be my next point. Is in that time, PvP and PvE gear kind of functioned in a way where if you had the legendary staff, that was your best in slot as a spellcaster, and the only way to have be full best in slot was to raid weekly and raid often and be in a raid team that's willing to invest all that time into what you're doing. And same thing there was a couple of trinkets that were way better there were PvE trinkets that were way better for PvP, and there wasn't anything the other way around. So PvEers had an advantage if they wanted to switch over to PvP. PvPers didn't really have that advantage going over to PvE. And I think that every iteration, I think that the World of Warcraft team has been trying to work towards a system, because in the past they'd always said, we'd like to keep them the same, but it's just too difficult to balance right now. And every time they've kind of said it, and now it basically sounds like to the point where it's like, we're to the point where we can balance them the same, and we believe that that's going to be the best experience. So I trust them in that. But this is not just like now we can do it. I really feel like this has been 4 or 5 years in the making of trying to get these balancing practices to a point where they can balance PvE and PvP, and they believe that they can reward you well enough. And the thing that I worry about the most is PvP players who want to switch over to PvE feeling just as valued as PvE players going over to PvP, because that's something that's been lacking. Is they kind of made it go the one way, but you were never at an advantage going into a raid instance as a PvP player. With PvP gear, I remember that. I remember those days trying to get into PvE content and being in my, full tier 10 stuff, and they're like, yeah, that's not going to work, buddy. I'm sorry. You don't have any of the things. And so I just hope that they find a way to make it both ways, because that's the only way a system like this works.
Right. And
another aspect of it, the idea that since it's all equal, now are you going to need the tier bonus from your raid stuff to make a difference in PvP? So also, once again, forcing PvPers to raid. I think that's another big issue that people are going to have. The anxiety that PvPers are going to be forced to raid again, like with the staff that he was talking about earlier.
I want to say that they addressed this.
PvP content.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're not going back to the same thing that they were doing in Cataclysm.
Exactly, but I know that that's
Well, but it should be a worry, right? Because we've seen what that's looked like before, but
yeah, it's a legitimate concern, and I hope that Blizzard addresses it and makes sure that that's not the thing, or the gear is truly equal. But yeah,
I think they may have, because there's a couple of different things, so in this big long post that Ian set up for talking about PvP gear, he said that they're changing the way that they're awarding loot as well for PvP. So when players win a PvP match of whatever type, they have a chance to win loot directly after the match. So upon winning, they might win a piece of loot, and that loot can be anything. It can be relevant to the tier that raiders are in at that point. It could be. I don't know. They haven't really specified what it's going to be. And also, he said the quote first few victories per week in a rated bracket will reward a guaranteed piece of gear, and the eye level of that piece of gear would be increased based on your rating. So not only are you going to be getting loot drops from PvP, which it seems weird, because I've only been in a system where you buy it off of a vendor, so it's kind of a little weird. But now, if you have a better rating, you'll have a better eye level. So
I think for me, the biggest thing comes down to is the procs on things, because eye level, sure, you have a certain amount of intellect, stamina, strength, whatever, and it's very easy to balance that, or not. I won't say easy, because I'm not going to get game balance. Not going down that road.
More simple,
but it comparatively, compared to like a set bonus where it's like increases your haste by 25%, or every time you get off I'm a shadow priest, so every time you get off a 3-orb devouring plague, get this proc. Those are much more difficult to put into an eye level type of thing, where it can be a low eye level piece. We've all seen that trinket where it's better to keep your LFR trinket until you replace it with the mythic one, because it scales so well with this build, and the theory crafting says this. And so that's the one where I'm interested. Can they keep gear exciting and go, oh man, you got that one, and not like, oh, cool, you got the haste trinket.
Hopefully they'll make it like
the cool procs.
They'll make it like the loot boxes in Overwatch. Wouldn't that be great? They just have little coins.
So I'm going to have to pay
that's right.
$40 for 50 of them.
Probably.
Deal.
Probably.
You got me.
So confirmed you pay for gear now with real money.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh my God.
It's all micro,
you can't even joke about that. Like that's a no-go for the joking. You cannot joke about microtransactions.
I just did, John. I just did.
Oh my God.
Now, Darius, being the PvP player of the show.
The expert, yes.
The expert, because we all know you're down with PvP. Yeah, you know me. You're down with PvP. Yeah, you know me. You're down with PvP. Yeah, you know me. Who's down with PvP? This whole Darius.
That guy in that song sounds a lot like you.
No, it's actually I was singing about you.
Oh.
I was singing about you. And about how amazingly into PvP you are. But does this, so being a raider, now let's switch it from being a PvP player to being a raider. So now being a raider, do you think that people will feel forced into PvP? Or like, especially like hardcore raiders, do you think that they're going to feel the pain on this?
For those that are looking to doing hardcore raiding, that are raiding 6-7 nights a week, they're going to do everything they can to min-max their gear. They're going to be doing the mythic dungeons and challenge modes and everything, raids as many times as they can. And if PvP is going to drop gear that is PvE gear, that is gear, just gear at this point,
right?
Yeah, they're going to do PvP. They're going to figure out how many times you have to do PvP to get the best chance of getting the most amount of items and things like that, and they're going to do that, and they're going to do it every week.
Right. So it's one more thing for hardcore folks to do to get gear. But hasn't PvP always been kind of a part of, especially like the most hardcore teams out there? I mean,
not really. I mean, a lot of them will do PvP, but the amount of sacrifices you had to make most often on gear to get some of the other stats wasn't worth it.
Mm-hmm.
You're dropping something for resilience or PvP power or whatever it ended up being. So you didn't see people grinding them out all that often. Occasionally you'd have like a blood DK that might have a really good item that dropped, that was a PvP item. So they would do that at the beginning to supplement some gear. But as soon as you got into raids, they weren't an issue anymore. You were getting better gear. But that's not going to be the case anymore if it's dropping gear.
Right. I think that one of the things that I see from all of the different posts that have come out, from all of the different little pieces of information, it seems like if you're planning on being a hardcore raider in Legion, you might not have time for other stuff right away. You might not have time for a job.
As is always.
Right. But I think this more than ever, especially if they're saying that PvP loot is going to be the same as PvE loot.
There's going to be more than ever more ways to get gear through whatever it ends up being. More than any expansion we've seen, any patch we've seen. So those that are going to be the most hardcore are going to exploit all of those ways. But what I'm hoping this means, though, is that someone that maybe only raids 2 or 3 nights a week and isn't getting gear in the raids or just isn't getting lucky can maybe do a dungeon or do a round of PvP and win and get that piece of gear they're not getting. They won't feel obligated to do all of them, but if they want to, they can do one of them and maybe get another piece of gear. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
From all this, but we'll see if that actually happens, because the people that want to do well will try to do everything they can, and maybe Legion comes out and the country sees a rash of firings and delinquency in school and stuff like that.
Right.
Gonna blame
unemployment goes up around the world, and yeah, look at that, all because of World of Warcraft. Mm-hmm. Happens all the time.
Yep.
Right, John?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. This could turn into.
Don't get me started.
It's bringing back some bad memories. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the way it goes, I guess. Now, just so that you guys know, as far as how they're planning on shrinking the power gap in PvP, if you guys are interested, here's just the one little thing. So what Ian said was basically that they're going to set player stats automatically in PvP based on their level. I'm guessing based on their actual level. So if they're level 110, you get X amount of power. And then gear, yes, it is still going to be a thing that you're going to watch, but the difference between an eye level 800 player and an eye level 900 player is 10% power. So it's a lot less. A lot less. So there's going to be... Hopefully this means a lot more competitive matches and a lot more fun. Right, John?
Skill should determine who wins for that. More than, yeah.
Skill and gear.
That's one of the hard parts though too with World of Warcraft is it is kind of split in half in a way where you've got PvP players and PvE players, and you do have some people who do both. But when I came back and I had to decide, okay, I'm going to play with my raiding friends or my PvP friends, and which gear sets am I going to go to with the time I have? It's kind of a pain in the butt. Whereas this way, it's like I can hop in and I'm 10% behind him, but I can overcome a lot of that with skill and hard work and playing my class and playing it well. And I think that's a good direction. And if there is something that you want in a game, it's for all your players to be able to play together, play with your friends. We've seen it with Overwatch. Overwatch is way more fun to play with your friends, and WoW is the exact same way. And, to have that divide between PvP and PvE isn't necessary anymore, at least according to the World of Warcraft team. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing this.
Right.
And I think that is going to, build a healthier community, and you can have PvP guilds and raiding guilds and combinations of both, and be able to hop in and play. And I think that's an awesome thing.
Yeah, indeed. And I just want to say to Brian Holinka and the entire PvP team over there, I really hope that this works out for you, because I know that the last few years have been painful at times, and I really want it to work out, because I think PvP is necessary for World of Warcraft. I really do. I really think it's...
Holinka has the thickest skin of anyone I've ever met.
He also has a bushy beard right now, apparently.
Yeah, also that. It's more ways to deflect. It's just protection.
People that wear beards are absolutely hiding something.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, so in other news around the Battlenet, let's just kind of do this really quick. Diablo 3 turns 4.
Yay!
Good job, guys.
Wait, really? Diablo 4? Did you say
Diablo 3 turns 4? They turn 4 years old.
It's Diablo 4.
Oh, okay.
It's not Diablo 4. It's Diablo 3, but it turns 4 years old. Anyway, and let's see what else. Heroes of the Storm. Chromie is in, right, Shark?
She is. Debuted not so strongly. There might need to be. I mean, anytime a new character comes out, there's going to need to be some things. Now, on the higher end of players, have been able to do a lot of interesting things with her, and some people are finding some of her abilities frustrating. For example, she drops tons of damage on you, but there's no warning circle.
Yeah.
There's no area of effect icon unless you are unless you are Chromie. Right, so you don't really know where it's going to land. All of a sudden, you see her do her sand dragon thing, and it's flying up in the air, and you're like, "Where's it going to land? Where's it going to land?" And you're running around, and it can deal a lot of damage to you if you're not careful. But yeah, she's. I think that she's going to have to get buffed a little bit to be competitive.
I know that everybody was playing her like last week.
Yeah, so. Lots. Oh, yeah. I'm not saying she wasn't popular. Anytime a new character comes out, she's going to be very, very, very popular. But her win rates were. On the low end for a lot of folks. So, but yeah, she can be very, very good. I think she has a lot of wombo combo synergies and things like that. Some of her plays or some of her abilities are very, very interesting. Her E ability where she locks people in time, her time trap, where she locks in stasis as they're trying to escape, and she can just plant those across the map. And if you do that in a effective way, you can delete people pretty quickly when you surround them. So, yeah, she's an interesting playstyle, but yeah, I think she needs to be adjusted a little bit.
Cool.
To be picked in Hero League and stuff. Unlike Tracer, who came out and was number one when she debuted, has been number one continually even after buffs.
She's awesome in any game. Put her in really World of Warcraft, for crying out loud.
Yeah, we'll get more players back into the game. But yeah, same thing with Li Ming. Like, those characters had just really super strong hits even after they got nerfed. Chromie is probably going to need to get a little bit of a buff before anybody starts banning her for Hero League. So.
And the other one, Medivh's coming out June 14th that week, and so that's something else to look forward to.
He looks cool too, but nobody really knows yet. They haven't even put him on a PTR or anything.
They're going to wait until after the movie. They're going to say, this is Medivh.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Because, he's in the movie.
He's in the movie.
He's a character from the movie.
Right. So. See, it all comes back to the movie, everybody. They're just doing
there's a movie?
There's a movie.
I love Lamp.
Right. Anything else in Heroes, my man?
Not really. I mean, new meta's happening. I think I don't remember last week or last time if we talked about all of the new patch notes and PTR stuff that came out. People are still figuring things out. Anubarak is stronger again. I don't know if he's super, super mega strong. And he was my favorite character. That's the only reason I brought him up. But yeah, lots of cool stuff happening.
Right.
In Heroes.
He's got an exoskeleton. I mean, how can you not like the guy?
Exactly. One thing, just a quick mention about Heroes, man. It's such a good game. I think a lot of people have kind of not really given up on it. But there's been a lot of frustrations over the past few months, especially with around Christmas time, the devs taking a break for the holidays. And there are a lot of things that people felt like needed to be fixed and they didn't get fixed. But a lot of the stuff is really, I mean, they're working so hard to put out changes frequently, balance changes as frequently as they need. The game is changing almost every week, and if not every week, every other week, there's some sort of change happening in the game. It's continuing to evolve and grow and get better and better and better and better.
And they're planning on changing their MMR stuff in June as well. So that's
I think around the same time as the
movie.
Weird.
Darius, there's a movie.
What? There's Overwatch?
Yeah, definitely.
There are small versions of those on the internet.
Right. No, it's so there's a bunch of cool stuff coming for Heroes, and I'm looking forward to seeing all those changes and stuff like that, and I will be watching all of those changes from the comfort of my Overwatch chair, because I'll be overwatching in Overwatch.
No.
I'll be overwatching the Overwatch. Such
Leave
a fun
the terrible
game.
Humor to Darius.
Such a fun game.
So good at it.
All right, we're gonna get out of here.
What?
We're gonna get out of here. We're gonna do
Get out of here.
Yeah. But before we do we have any 5-star reviews from iTunes, Darius?
We do. We have one. It's from the Ben Trick.
The Ben Trick. Well, thank you.
I said that right.
Thank you so much. Any shout outs this week, fellas? John, any shout outs at all?
I mean, yeah, just
any plugs of stuff that's coming up for you.
There we go. Okay. I was like, do I shout it out or I plug?
Plugs,
really quick. I am on twitch.tv/kickedtripod. And I actually do have my own Patreon too. So if you listen to Well Met, which is at Overwatch or Hearthstone.blizzpro.com, or The Payload, which is at Overwatch.blizzpro.com, and you like that stuff, that's how we get things to make it better. So patreon.com/kicktripod as well for those. And of course, Well Met and The Payload are at where I just told you, and you can basically just Google them and they're there.
Cool. Shark, you got anything? Any plugs? Any shout outs?
Yeah, I've got some stuff. I want to thank Marissa and Morn and the AWJ Adults with Jobs guys who were hanging out with me on my stream last night when we were streaming the Overwatch launch. Thanks so much. And there were a couple others there that I might have forgotten to write down. So I'm really, really sorry. Coming to my stream again. And next time I'm on the show, I'll definitely make sure to thank you for hanging out. But yeah, I also want to plug my stream now that I'm in the new place and I have a house with doors. I'm
Look
allowed
at that.
to. I know I'm allowed to podcast, and when people that live with me have to, or big applause.
Yeah.
Am I gonna get some?
You got big applause right there. There you go.
Yeah, now that people that live with me have to wake up at 6 a.m. to go to work, I can still podcast into the dark evenings and stream and things like that because the walls keep the noise in the room. So yeah.
Wow.
That'll be really. That's no. It's for now. I don't know why I didn't think about it. I felt like that corded bead, like 70s
beaded curtain. Yes,
it just didn't work out. So,
no.
But yeah, I stream at twitch.tv/SharkuCTR. Come on in there. I really like to throw my chat rooms invites into games when I'm playing, get people involved, have a good time. So it's really just about that's a good way. If you see that I'm streaming and you're like, oh, I don't know, people don't want to play with bad people. Right. I do on the stream. It'll be fun.
All right, Shark, I had to restart the music because you just.
Oh God.
Probably half my fault. Probably half
I know,
my
he
fault.
really
I
does.
took all Shark's time.
Hey, by the way, I do a couple of other things myself. Drinking and Swearing Friday nights on my stream /Zug on Twitch. And then also I do a show with Jules Scott called The Case of the Mondays about weird internet stuff and music and all sorts of stuff. Darius, you got anything going on?
No.
Perfect. Then we'll move on and we'll bail on this one and we'll start up with this one. There we go. Oh, gosh. And I want to give a big thank you to all of you guys out there, no matter where you are in the Twitch chat room. Thank you guys for joining us, as always, whether you're in your car or whatever. Thanks for bringing us with you. Thank you so much. And you can get a hold of us. You can be a part of the conversation if you wish. You can email us at converttoraid@gmail.com. You can call us and leave comments and questions on our raid line, 612-787-RAID. That's 612-787-7243. You can follow us on Twitter at converttoraid or even individually. Isn't that right, Darius?
You can follow Pat Crane. He is at Pat Crane with a K. You can follow me. I'm at BoredMind. You can follow John at Kicked Tripod. That's with a K. And you can follow Sharku at Sharku_CTR_talks too much.
Yes, exactly. You can join our Discord, as I said before, discord.converttoraid.com. You can also join us over at the Bazuba Nation by heading over to converttoraid.com. By the way, Bazuba Nation is our guild on the beta. So just letting you know.
Right.
Just letting you know. Anybody can join. We also have over at converttoraid.com, we have show downloads, forums, videos, audios, tons of links for raiders and so much more. And it's all over at converttoraid.com, including the live show. That's converttoraid.com/live. And the Convert to Raid podcast is produced and distributed by Signals Media. Make sure to check out all of our friends on the Signals Media All-Star Network at signalsmedia.com. What are you doing, John?
Picking Pat Crane Winston knows.
Wow.
It's inspiring me. That's what he's doing.
Well, on that note, that's going to be it for the show. Oh, by the way, next week, you'll see some changes around this place. You'll see some changes. Just let you know.
Turkish prison.
Warning.
No, we're not going to be doing
finally
that.
cleaning his room.
Well, that's going to be a thing. But nothing from a Turkish prison, I guarantee.
Oh.
But there will be some changes next week, so be prepared, everybody. Come prepared. Blah, 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 blah. All right, that's it. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Until then, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.